What's going on, guys? Welcome to the review. Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. A Casemiro red card sees us with 10 men in a very end-to-end stretched game that, like I said, finishes 0-0. We take 1 point from it. Disappointing, of course. When you put things into perspective, I don't know how I feel about it in a minute. A little bit mixed emotions, to be completely honest with you. I've got Sam and Chivy alongside me. Sam, do you want to talk us through that first half, your frustrations, and yeah?
I mean, we've titled the video Chaos Reigns, and that was pretty much that game, wasn't it? It was frustration, chaos, not able to get a proper foot on the ball, not taking our chances, letting too many chances in at the other end. I think, all in all, you'd probably say a draw is a fair result, but I would have expected a goal draw, or at least like a couple of goals somewhere, because the amount of chances that happened in that game were insane. I think we got let off with quite a few, and then we didn't put our chances away at the other end either. Could have won that game. Definitely could have won that game. So yeah, a little bit frustrating from that perspective, but also, yeah, a lot of chaotic things going on with that game. I'm just sure we'll get into with the referee, etc. But yeah, like you, not sure what to think, really. Not sure what to think.
Yeah, it's very mixed emotions for myself in a minute. Chiv, what just your thoughts pre-match going into this? Well, relatively confident, I suppose, and then the first half for football. Let's just dive into it straight away, actually, because I don't want to beat around the bush. Casemiro being sent off. He won't feature in the Premier League now for 34 days. It's gonna be he's going to be a big miss again. What were your thoughts on some of the decisions in the first half? Because I'm interested to see what people think on this.
I think the red card was debatable because he got the ball, and it always looks worse when you watch it in replay.
Slow motion.
But yeah, when you watch in slow motion, it always looks worse. But I think it didn't need to be a red card. But it is what it is. That's the game. We've seen those given before, and I think after we lost Casemiro, Southampton were really organised and they put the pressure on us. And I don't know if I mentioned it in the last stream, but missed opportunities. We had a lot of missed opportunities against Betis. That could have been 6, 7 realistically. Yeah. And it's the same thing that happened today. We had a lot of missed opportunities that we could have buried. Giving the ball away. Some of the play was a bit forced. I will say I'm very, very happy with the way we defended. I know the attack sort of let us down, but I was really happy with the way we defended, especially the way our defenders looked calm most of the time. There wasn't any scrambling. I know Wan-Bissaka got a ball off the line, which is good. And remember we talked about that, about him arriving in the back post. So when I saw that, I was like,
props to him.
Yeah. So, but it's just missed opportunities really. But we'll get into it.
Yeah, you mentioned missed chances there. I just wanted to pick it up. Was there one in particular that frustrated you, that bugged you the most out of all the ones you talk about?
For all the praise that Weghorst gets, and I really, really like him and what he brings to the team, but as a striker, his positioning is really, really poor. Sometimes as a striker, as a poacher, you create those chances for yourself by positioning yourself properly. That's why we see the greats that's why you see people like, Van Nistelrooy, Crespo, players like that will go missing, but whenever you see them, it's an attempt or a goal. So the one where in the first half where Rashford has the ball and he's cutting in, and when I first saw it, I was screaming at Rashford for not passing it. But then when I watched the replay, Weghorst is hiding behind. Well, it's not hiding.
Yeah, he's not.
He stood behind.
He's never getting it, is he? If he gets put across, he's not getting it.
Even if Rashford was going to square that, there's no way. Rashford couldn't see him. So from our angle, we could see that he was there, and he was screaming for it. And I'm like, well, you haven't positioned yourself properly. And it happened again twice. I remember there was once. I think it was the Luke Shaw crossed the ball in, and he's behind the defender. Fair play. I mean, he was in the right place, but he just didn't anticipate it, and the defender missed it. And it's just him and the goalkeeper. It was just a very calm header. So for all the praise he gets, those are the kind of games where you need a clinical striker to finish off, those chances. And I like what he does in the midfield. But and some of the plays that we had in attack, with Bruno giving the ball away, sometimes I know he gets carried away really emotionally, but you just need a cool head, and this is what I've been screaming about sometimes. Just take a second, you know,
Yeah.
and you give the ball away when we're 10 men down, especially.
He was trying
Oh.
passes. He was trying no-look passes. We're down to 10 men, and you're in your own half, and you're doing no-look passes. Like, come on, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, but can we just appreciate Lisandro? Like,
we're gonna trust me. We've got
good. Let's go.
We've got a segment for him and a couple of players anyway. But I want to just stick with the Casemiro decision a little bit more about that, because I thought, from my personal perspective, I think he should have been sent off, because I was thinking if that was against us, and you know, someone put a foul in on Bruno like that or something, I'd be calling for the red. I'd be saying send him off right now, because his studs are gone in right into his shin. Yes, he gets contact with the ball, but the way his studs go into his thing in the modern game right now, that's a red card for me personally. Obviously, I was absolutely devastated with it. Casemiro was fucking unbelievably devastated with it, because he's thinking that's another 3 games he's going to miss. That's 6 games he would have missed in total because of both red cards. You're saying something there, Shiver, because the mic was thinking. No. Can't hear.
He's going to miss 4 games.
Yeah, there we go. 4 games. Yeah. 4? Why 4?
Because he's having red already.
Oh, fucking hell. So he's going to miss 4. So he's going to miss, what, Fulham, Newcastle, Betis?
No.
Yeah.
He's not missing Betis.
Only England. Only the English.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but even still, like, big. Yeah, Sam, let me bring you in on that decision. What were your initial thoughts when it first happened?
When it first happened, I was like, he got the ball, so I'm like, yellow's a bit harsh, and I saw the replay, and I'm like, okay, it's one of those that it's like, do you know an orange card? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like it's definite yellow, because he's gone in strong, he's hit into the ball strong, and then he's followed through and caught him with his studs, which is a big no-no. But he's not gone in there to leg break him, and he's got the ball first. Might be a bit of a stronger challenge and a harder challenge, and he's gone in over the top, which in modern day football is a big no-no. You can't do that. So for me, it was like an orange. So am I upset that it's a red? Absolutely. And because it's United. But again, like you said, Nick, if it happened to United, I'd probably be like, he probably needs to send it off there. It's one of those. It's an orange, and I might either way. You could go either way. It wasn't like a definite red, but also wasn't not a red either. So it's kind of, yeah, that's where I am at with it. It's frustrating as a United fan, and to lose Casemiro, because we have nobody who does that job. Nobody can fill in for him. Scott McTominay can't do it. Fred can't do it. Like, nobody can. Sabitzer, don't know where he is. Don't know what he's doing. So yeah, it's frustrating to lose him for 4 games.
Can I just say, though, I thought McTominay when he came on was decent. I didn't think he was too bad. From everything that I saw, I thought, you know, he was getting out good positions, putting in good tackles. I suppose it's, I don't know, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not worried about Casemiro not being there because McTominay had a little good cameo. That's not, but I'm just thinking he did a job when he came on. Up until that point, Chevette, what was your assessment on the actual performance in itself between both teams?
We were growing in the game up until then. And Casemiro, I remember he had a couple of balls over the top that could have actually gone in, that could have actually connected. So I think it was one of them ones where we could have ridden the wave of attack and then been able to capitalize on the spacing behind. It was pretty even at that point because Southampton were kind of growing in confidence. I really hate making excuses, but this is the first time I'm actually looking forward to the international break because these guys need a week off. Some of them they just need time away to just because it's ridiculous playing 2 games a week for 2 months. This is the 3rd month now. But I think it was one of them ones where we were, even though Southampton had the ball, we were very solid defensively. I know Walcott had that chance with the header and the hair came through for us. But apart from then, I think we were quite solid defensively and we could have broken them down. The red card really, really hurt us.
That's why the fatigue issue you touched on there, that's why I'm really surprised with how Luke Shaw, like the running that lad's got in him, honestly. He was up and down that pitch for the full, like, big, like, yards coverage as well, like, recovery pace. all game. I was like, I don't know what he's had for breakfast this morning, but he was up. Honestly, the stamina was so impressive. And yeah, it's just credit to him because it's the mentality as well, getting back into that position. There's a lot of times the amount of space it was. As soon as Casemiro went off, and then wide areas and centrally as well, it was just you saw it. You could see the pendulum swinging more and more, and it was because of our defense why we stayed in that. We're going to touch on individuals, obviously with the ratings later on, but we can speak about a couple of specific ones now. Sam, Lisandro Martinez, he's on the back of my shirt. He's honestly today, if we didn't have him, people talk about the levels of drop off and the difference. If that was Maguire today, not just Maguire, not scapegoating Maguire, even if
that's 3-0. It's 3-0.
I just think there's not many defenders on the planet who can take a ball as comfortably as he can. When he receives it in areas, he's got 3, 4.
He just turns.
He just always seems to select the right way to go, or the right pass to play, and he makes it look like so just effortless. It's just it's second nature to him. I've got some stats here to read out for you, Sam, and I'll let you roll on Lisandro Martinez if I can find them. I don't know where they've gone now. Yeah. Talk to me about Lisandro Martinez, Sam, and I'll find the stat. I don't know where they've gone.
Yeah, I think he's slowly becoming the most important purchase we've made for Manchester United. Like, without him, I don't know where we'd be in the league. We'd probably be out of a couple of competitions, if not all of them. He has been standout in a way at one of our best players this year. He's been absolutely phenomenal. What's the old adage? Is it strikers win your games, but defense win your titles?
Win your titles,
And that's what you've got right there. You've got a champion winning defender there. He will win you titles. Like, is that sort of mentality. Everything he does is calm, collected. There's he never feels pressure. Never feels under, like, he hasn't got time. He never feels like somebody's too close to him. He's like, nah, I'll deal it. I got it. And he'll just say the ease in which he'll have like a man on coming towards him, and there's another player out there, and he'll literally just look over his shoulder, take the ball, turn round the player, and that defender's just gone that way, and he's off. And it's just like, and his range of passing as well, I thought it was really excellent today. I think he's one of our best players, if not in the top 3. He's absolutely ridiculously good. And you saw the mentality from him when we took him off towards the end to bring Maguire on to salvage, like, to make sure we came away with a draw, because we knew Southampton were going to knock balls into the box, so we needed that aerial presence on. He was annoyed that he came off, even though he probably understood tactically what Ten Hag was doing. He was annoyed to come off because that's the mentality that he has. I can't say enough good things about him. I thought he's my man in the match personally. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna read out the stats in a minute. If we can you put a poll out on YouTube to see what the community think of it, if it was a red card or not, just on the Casemiro decision, because I'm curious to see the general consensus. Yeah, Chivette, Lisandro Martinez, 100% dribbles completed, 100% aerial duels won, 88 pass accuracy, 67 touches, 4 out of 5 ground duels won, 4 clearances, 2 out of 2 tackles and 2 interceptions, and a clean sheet as well. On top of that, is he leaning towards your man of the match for this game?
I don't care about the stats.
I know you're not a stat man. But it's still impressive.
It's very impressive. It's very impressive. But what impressed me the most was his ability to read the game and track Walcott on 2 occasions where they had the fast break, where Walcott was. I mean, like, I know so Sam has talked about his defending and the pass completion. For me, it's just his awareness was just incredible. Because there was that one occasion where the ball goes over the top, and I'm like, he's gone. It's Walcott, and Lisandro has read it perfectly. So he's played him onside. Everyone else is trying to play him offside. He's played him onside because he knows this is in the second half where we're 1 man down. He knows they will try and exploit the spacing behind, and I think he's made up for the Liverpool game, because remember that's what they kept doing to us when we started. Going down, they were hitting us on the break, and it was just his awareness and his ability to be able to cut, because he knows that Rashford has the pace, beat him any day 1-on-1. So he has that extra yard just above him, and then he literally just reads the game perfectly and stops two fast breaks. And I was so impressed by that. And then also when he gets the ball, I haven't watched a lot of the rest of the Premier League that much this season, but the way he's able to be so press resistant as a central defender is so impressive. He literally, one other quality of Lisandro that I don't hear talked about too much is the way he literally springs the attack from the back. some of the passes that he made in, like he literally transition is ridiculous. So that's for me. Him and Luke Shaw were probably one of either, I don't know, be my man of the match. And just very quickly on Luke Shaw he's grown. He's so mature now. Like his decision making and how productive he is with the ball, his senses danger, his stature.
Yeah.
He's able to read the game. And most of our chances that were created today were from Luke Shaw. Remember the ball he sends over to Anthony?
Yeah.
Like most of our chances today were created by our defenders and Luke Shaw and Lissandro. So, yeah, I mean, big shout out to both of them, man.
Yeah, both of them really important. Jonathan Sharks just put a tweet out that made me laugh. He's put, bringing Harry on in the final minutes of games to ensure he tots up enough appearances to receive a Premier League winners medal at the end of the season. Beautiful stuff from Eric Ten Hag. You see it then, like, scrolling down.
Shout out to Jonathan, friend of the channel.
Yeah, Jonathan. Let's take it to the second half then, because unless I'm forgetting any decisions in the first that any of you lads were absolutely outraged with, but the second half, in particular, the handball was a little bit more dicey for me. What did you think of that decision? Sam, I'll go to you.
Okay. It looked a lot like the. You remember the Soucek one, for West Ham, where he's going down and it hits his hand, and it wasn't given at the time, was it? But then afterwards, they said, who's the head of the
VAR? They made a mistake.
Yeah, but he was the head of it, who used to be a referee, and he was on Sky Sports, and he came out afterwards and said, "No, that would have been
Lee Mason, wasn't it?
No, not Lee Mason.
Was it not?
Who?
Mariner?
Andre Mariner?
No, it's a guy who went to Saudi. He used to be a referee here.
Oh, Clattenburg.
Yeah, he's the head of the PGML or something like that. Head of the referees union.
Yeah.
That's his job. He came out and basically was on Sky Sports and said, under the terms, he's got that wrong. That should have been a handball, what Soucek did. So it was very similar to that to me. He's gone down on his hands and knees, which, according to, I looked up the rules, if you put yourself in a position that's at risk for handball, which I would say if you're on your hands and knees on the floor, I'd say that's at risk. And then he's kind of trapped the ball between himself, his arm, and his body. So it's not clear cut. It's very 50-50. It's like, has he meant to do that, or is it at such close range and he's gone down? He can't help it. I don't know. I would have a tough time trying to give that a yes or no, and I think that's where VAR were, and I think VAR couldn't be 100% on it, so they've just not given it. I think that's what's happened there.
Trevor?
Same as Sam, I think. There's not much I can add to that, but pretty much I think it was one of them ones where it was too tight for them to call, and they just let the game flow. But I maybe it's because I'm a United fan. I would have given it, I think.
Yeah.
Because you could tell from the player as well. Like he knew he got away with one, and the way he lifted his hand, he kind of lifted his hand when the ball hit it, like trying to get his hand out of the way, because he knew like it hit the upper arm. So
I thought when Soucek handballed it, his arm was a bit more out. Like it was more like the wingspan was more. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this guy, if you look at his arms are like that. His hands are out a little bit, but I'm just like, I don't know. I think that'd be harsh, me.
I think he moves it towards himself as the ball's coming in, so he can trap it between his arm and his body, and then it's 50-50 then, because the Soucek one's obvious, like you said, because his arm's all the way out. There's no sort of dubious sort of thing there that you can't think that's obvious. Whereas this, it's a little more dubious because he's trapping it between. It's like, is he meant to do it? Has it? It's tricky. It's really tricky.
Yeah, I mean, one thing's for sure is that the lines are very blurred with VAR at the minute. Ironically, there's no consistency at all within the whole officiating, and that's really being highlighted at the minute across a lot of games. So this is something that they need to address. They need to have a look at, because I feel like it's getting worse and worse. I'm seeing some decisions in the game, and I'm like today, I think from obviously I'm not a ref, so I'm not thinking, but I'm just saying from my behalf, I think most of them were spot on. Like I said with the Casemiro ones, and people can tend to disagree and stuff, but it's just, like I said, the consistency within each decision. They all seem to have different rules every time it's given. It's like, oh, well, the new handball rule is this, and this is that, and this is that. And it's just like, it's frustrating because you don't really know where you stand then as a football fan when you're watching a game. So
what I thought he was bad at, the referee, he didn't seem to give a lot of fouls against us. Like, for us, should I say. Like, that Bednarek got away with a lot of fouls. A lot of fouls. And that other midfielder, is it Lavia? He got, like, there was a bunch of fouls they were doing, and referee was not calling any of them. I'm just like, do you know what I mean? Like, at least equal it out a little bit. So that frustrated me a little bit.
Yeah. We also had a couple of good opportunities in the, especially second half. The Bruno Fernandes shot, which I thought went in. I was celebrating it. I was like, yes, come on. And then it just seemed to, like, it was really weird the way it bounced. It was a great save from the keeper when you watch it on the replay, but you see it just go across the goal, you think, oh, it's gone in, buzzing, and it goes out for a corner, and you're like, oh. Did any of you at any point ever feel like, yeah, we're going to go win this now? Like, just from the clear-cut opportunities we saw?
I felt like we could. I felt like there was definitely opportunities there where we could have put that away. There was an opportunity where Rashford got the ball, like he was in behind, and his first touch was just let him down, and he just went straight to kick. I was like, that's a wasted opportunity. The Vegas, the one that Chivy mentioned, like, obviously Rashford's not, if he cuts it across, it's not getting to Vegas, so he has to shoot. The Bruno one, yeah, that was there. And then there was the ball that came across to Luke Shaw, wasn't there? When he chested it down, he was going to volley it, and I thought, let himself down there. So I thought we had opportunities. We definitely could have won that game. Definitely could have put something in the back of the net. And I think we limited Southampton to, like, there was the De Gea save from the header, and then there was that save where Walcott was in. But I think that was a really comfortable save for De Gea because Walcott,
I agree.
Walcott got his feet mixed up and he couldn't quite get it in, and he sort of scuffed it, and De Gea just sort of touched it. So I thought we limited him quite well defensively to any sort of chances, and we definitely could have won it. We just didn't take the chances.
Yeah. Agree with that, Chiva?
Yeah. Remember there was that Carl Walker-Peters shots that came off the woodwork.
Yeah, the post.
Yeah.
That was really close. But chances for us, Sam's mentioned all the chances, but I remember when Pellistri and Garnacho came on, there was a bit of, I could tell like the momentum was kind of building with us, and it kind of left after Garnacho had that injury.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of simmered down. Pellistri, I was really impressed with the way he was, he didn't get too much of the ball, but he was a thorn in that. And the worst thing for a defender is when you have like a player, just a direct player running at you the whole time. And there were a few times that the ball could have bounced around in the opposition box, and we just needed a player in the right position to sort of to be there really, and we didn't have any, and that's one of the biggest criticisms I think I'd give the squad. But I think we did well to hold on to a point.
We went in strong. What you said about the direct runners, Garnacho, you saw Kyle Walker-Peters went in strong on him, didn't he, with that tackle where Garnacho went down hurt, and it was like, I think that was planned. It was like, we need to make sure these lads know we're here and stop them running at us. So he won the ball. It was a fair tackle, but he went in strong on him, make sure Garnacho knew, and he obviously was down for a while. We're all a bit worried, like he was injured, but he seemed to be fine afterwards. I think that's where, as soon as they came on, they were like, we need to make sure these lads can't run at us. So I think that was part of it as well.
I'm just going to reel off some comments. Aaron Diaz is in the chat saying, hey, what's your thoughts on the results? I mean, we've been discussing it, so hope that's answered your question. Adam saying, if I'm in a room with, oh my God, I'm not reading that out. Just saw the replay. Yeah. Just saw the replay of the Rashford penalty appeal. Keeper touches his leg, which knocks it slightly into his. No, I don't. The Rashford pen. I don't know. I think he was really trying to buy that one. Yeah. In my personal opinion. So I'm not having that either. Good, not from Adam. I just mean in general. A good game of football. I mean, as far as 0-0 goes, it weren't bad. It weren't like absolutely boring.
Chaotic.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
It was end to end. So I was seeing from the neutral perspective, if you're just watching that, it's not it's not a bad thing, but. It seems to have done the opposite to Chiv. Everything's yawning there. He might need a little bit of a nap.
He's had a long day.
Yeah. TS7 saying, I want to see more of Palestra. If we are in a dominating game, I feel like he could be so dangerous. That is one shiny, apart from, we just spoke about Shaw and Lissandro already. That is one shiny light at the minute. He's starting to impress more and more at the minute. And I think he does deserve to get more minutes. Whether he gets some against Real Betis, I don't know, because usually Ten Hag likes to go really strong, don't he, regardless of whatever the situation is. I remember in Nottingham Forest when we was 3-0 up, and he was like, you thought, oh, he's going to rest everyone now when you go into the second leg, and it was pretty much the same team, so you never really know. Do you think he deserves a chance on Thursday, Palestre? Chive?
Yeah, definitely. And I think he impressed again. And when he was coming on as a sub, did you see like Ten Hag kind of give him like a tap on the head? Like it's like he's letting him know that he believes in him now.
Yeah.
And I think he'll get more chances. I really think he will. Because as good as with everything that Sancho has been through this season, and he looked sharp sometimes, and then other times he kind of give the ball away. I think it's time for the manager to at least explore with either Garnacho or Pelistri having a more sustained run.
Definitely.
I think so, because every time Pelistri had the ball, you could tell like something was going to happen, and I think he's earned it, and I think he's doing really well in training, because that's the only way that he will be in the manager's books. So hopefully we'll see him against Betis. It's a good game we're 4-1 up. It's a good game to blood him in, give some players a rest, because I've been banging on about this, like the fatigue mentally and physically as well. I think some of these players just need a bit more time on the bench.
Yeah, you're spot on about Garnacho and Palestre as well, by the way, because I'm watching Antony and I'm watching Sancho. Like, you ain't giving me what I want from a winger. You're just not doing it. Like, I get I always touch on it, the tactical significance in certain games, your structure, your shape. I understand it. But when they're on the ball, they're not doing no way. We spent 150 million on both of them players. Not their fault, but regardless, we spent 150 million pounds, and we're still questioning, saying, well, maybe should Palestre be starting? Should Garnacho be starting? They should be taking their spot with both hands, considering the talent that they're regarded as, and they're not doing that. So for me, I'm more than happy to give Palestre 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and if he puts in a performance like he does and sustain it for that period, why should he start? Because they're not doing nowhere near enough for me.
Especially against a Southampton team who are not like they're going to play on the counter against you, so you're going to have space in behind, especially if you run directly at them. And as someone like an Ante or Sancho, they want time on the ball, they want to sort of play balls and stuff like that. If you want to just get at them, Palestri is a perfect output for that. Like, imagine like a Casemiro or a Sandro diagonal over to Palestri, ball in behind, he's in behind him, ball across the box, a Rashford or Vegas, whoever's there. It's one goal. It's done. You could use that so effectively. And like you said, even if it only lasts 45, 60 minutes, you get yourself up at 1 or 2 goals, and then you can bring on and change tactically to shut the game down, etc. Obviously, it depends on who you're playing, different teams, etc. But like, I thought today would have been a good sort of time for him to get more than what he got. Like, what did he get? 20 minutes in the end?
Something like that.
So I thought he deserved a lot more minutes. I think if he would have got on at half time, he might have made a breakthrough. He might have made something happen. But hindsight's 20/20, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I just everyone talks about Antony's his work rate off the ball and shape and stuff. I think Palestri does that just as well. Whenever he's come on, he's hard working off the ball. I've seen him so many times in the right back position, helping out Wan-Bissaka in multiple games when he's come on. So I really hope, for their sake, that they come on. I get sometimes why coaches do it, but it's because you want to keep these young players chomping at the bit to get on, so you kind of drip feed them minutes like slowly, and that psychologically is beneficial for him. But it's time now. I think it is time to start playing him a little bit more. Let's see what happens on Thursday. Unless any of you lads got anything else to add on, I think we've touched on most of the topics within the game. Obviously, get disappointing getting a point when, I think Tottenham won yesterday, Liverpool lost, so it's not too bad. But Chelsea got, no one gives a shit about Chelsea. So top 4 is not exactly a massive damage blow. We're still relatively comfortable, so that's not too much of a worry. Should we do the ratings?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, go through them relatively quickly. It's not going to be.
Should we results of the poll for the red card? It is.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just check that's right, because I've not refreshed it. 75% yes, it was a red card, and then 25% no, not a red card.
Okay. Is it possible to put another one? Just see man of the match. People who thought if it was Lissandro, Shaw, or who else? Who else would be throwing the contention for that? I don't know. Let's Lissandro, Shaw. I mean, after probably Wan-Bissaka, maybe. I don't know. It has to be the defenders, isn't it, really? Because I think when I look at the form of players, I feel like it was a gradient. If you look at United, it was like really the defenders really good. Midfield was like pretty average, and I thought the attackers were pretty shit, to be honest. So I think it'd have to be 3 of the defenders. Let's go Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, or Lissandro. We'll start the ratings off with the goalkeeper. Make sure you join in with us throughout the full thing. David De Gea keeps a clean sheet. Makes an all right save when Walcott's 1-on-1, but again, I don't think Walcott helped himself. Just a pretty average, steady C. I'm going to give him. Agreed?
C plus for me, because Walcott's header was in the first half.
I can't remember Walcott's header.
You don't?
Right, mate. Yeah, right,
No.
right. He was right in the middle, like he was sort of just on the 6-yard line, and he tipped it.
Yeah.
No, can't remember it.
What? That was the biggest chance. Like
Yeah.
that was a goal, literally.
I don't know how I fucking missed that, but no, I can't. Yeah, I'm happy to give him a C plus. I'll watch that back on the highlights. There. What knows? I watched the whole game and I cannot remember that, but yeah. Wan-Bissaka, does he get a C plus as well, or would you give him a higher rating?
I'd give him a B minus. I thought he was decent. I thought he again, from what we've been talking about, he's been the better right back since the World Cup, and he deserves to be starting more. We've give Dalot an opportunity to come back in, and he hasn't taken it. He's not been awful, but he's just not been at his best, and I think Wan-Bissaka has. So I thought he deserves a B minus. I thought he did really well. Overlaps, his attacking, his passing ability, etc. I thought he did decently well. I thought he was really good.
Jimmy?
B minus, and let's not forget he cleared the ball off the line.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do remember that one. Yeah.
That was literally going in. So he saved us there. So.
Yeah. Big shout. Raphael Varane, again, Varane's just a defender where you don't notice a lot about him. He just gets on about it and does his job. I don't know, just C plus Varane. I don't know. I just think it was a steady performance. Did really well as a collective unit with Finger. Did what he needed to do. Won his aerial duels. Won his ground duels. Yeah, above average for me.
I'd go B minus as well. I thought he was really, really good. He wasn't Leacher level. I thought Leacher was the better of the 2 centre backs, but again, putting a performance, solid Rolls Royce, what he does, no worries, no wobbles. Did what he was asked of, and yeah, like you say, you don't notice it. If you don't notice Varane, it means he's having a good game. If you don't notice him.
Yeah. Agree with that assessment?
I definitely noticed it. There was a block that he made, a really important block in the first half.
When Wan-Bissaka lost his man, when he came over to the winger.
Yeah, when Wan-Bissaka lost his man, and it was just like, okay, this is it, and then he blocks it. And then the second time when Slimani comes in, and I think he tries to beat Wan-Bissaka, like Varane made another important block there. I give him a B plus as well, or B minus.
B minus.
Yeah.
Okay, so if them two are a B minus, is Leacher a B plus or an A?
I give him
an A star.
I think I give him an A. I thought he was excellent. Everything he did worked. He was not like Chivy said, press resistant. His passing is fantastic. His defending, his attitude, his leadership, everything was spot on. And yeah, if he's not in the defence, we're definitely losing that game. I think he's the one he makes everything tick in that defence, especially with Varane. Like Varane looked worried when he used to play next to Maguire or Lindelof, next to Leacher. It's not a problem. It's not a fucking problem. And he's brought out the best in Shaw as well, because Shaw doesn't have to worry as much when he comes, if he misses or he's not getting over to cover, which he's doing better at, but like he doesn't have to worry as much. When Maguire was there, he'd have to worry all the time. But with Leacher, he's like, nah, Leacher's got it. So A for me. I thought he's fantastic.
Yeah, A performance. Absolutely. Chive, agreed.
Agreed. A, and I think Luke Shaw is learning from Leacher.
Yeah.
Because you can tell with the confidence that he's earning from that. Even some of the cutbacks that he does, that Lissandro does a lot. Like we're seeing Luke Shaw do more of that. I'll definitely give him an A. It's just really disappointing for our defense that they're so good, and then the attackers aren't really making the most of it. But an A for me.
Yeah. Luke Shaw, we'll try to get through these ones quickly as we get to the midfield. Luke Shaw was not as good as Lissandro, but he was the second one in terms of like who I would have gone for man of the match. Yeah, B plus. I'll go with Luke Shaw. Cass. Sorry, go on.
I just wanted to say he's excellent. Like most of our chances came through him. The opportunities he provided. I think he needs to be our set piece taker. I think sometimes Bruno isn't. Bruno's is like 7 times out of 10 he delivers something good, whereas Luke Shaw seems to do a fantastic cross, corner, free kick. He seems to be on it every single time. He seems like absolutely know what he's doing. So yeah, I thought Shaw was great.
Yeah, all in agreement on that, I think. Yeah, cool. Casemiro, I mean, what can you do? Sent off. He was all right up until that. Give away a couple of passes, which I have seen from him over the past couple of games. So I'm not going to give him a high rating when, you know, a red card cost you the 3 points, really, essentially. And I don't want to be over harsh, but if someone gets a red card, you've got to give him, you know, either an average or just below average. So I don't know, C- or something. I'd probably go for Casemiro.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes. It's so hard to rate Bruno because he does some really good things. Plays some passes in behind were really good, but then like Sam, you alluded to stuff before where the final third, you know, it's late on. You've got 5-6 minutes left. You try and no look passes or stupid risky passes, and they get a transition up the other end of the pitch and nearly score. That's the frustrating thing with him, and his petulance at times, which we've spoken about so many times. But he just doesn't need to do certain things. You know, it's really, really frustrating for me. But he was all right. He's probably above average, so I'd go C+ for Bruno.
Yeah, I agree. I just think if he can iron certain stuff out of his game, I think he could be an elite midfielder. Like, he's already got the stats to back him up, like on his passing, his assists, etc. But his in-game sort of personality and the way he manages the game sometimes is just stupid. Like, no-look passes in your own half when you're 10 men down and stuff is just like not something you need, and it puts unnecessary pressure on your team. And I think, yeah, you need just keep it simple. Keep it simple, pass to people, to the feet, and we'll get opportunities. When you're trying this stuff, yeah, if it comes off, it looks fantastic, but most of the time it don't come off, and it's just frustrating.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it, Chivy? Because on Thursday night, he was man of the match. He was brilliant. Tried deploying him, and I know he's 10 men down. He's dynamic, absolutely. I appreciate that. He's the captain. He's got to, you know, try to drag everyone together, but he tried him in a similar role today, and just a little bit off the boil for me. I don't know what you think.
I'll give him a C-, and that's just because I understand that, you know, we're down to 10 men, and he was like the only midfielder there at the time. So I'll give him a C-. But yeah, I mean, I expect a lot from Bruno, to be honest. It's still frustrating to see some of the decision making and giving the ball away. And just, I don't mind if you lose the ball, if the ball gets taken off you, right? But then when you're alone and you have a couple of seconds to think, and then you just rush it when you can just calm it down a bit. That's what frustrates me. Hopefully he gets rid of that and we see better. But today I have to give him a C- for that. Bruno is different when he has really good players around him. Like when we had the whole Eriksen and Casemiro, that was brilliant. Yeah. I'll give him a C-.
Sancho the same, because I thought he was underwhelming for me. Sancho good in little spurts, but he's not come back from this thing. How everyone expected this £80 million player to actually arrive when he came back from it, and I don't think it's happened. To be honest, I've seen little bursts of it, and it's just, I don't know what you do with him in a minute because he's trying him in a 10. Don't think he succeeded today. He can't beat a man on the wing. He's not quick enough. So I think that's an issue. He's not an issue in himself, but that's an issue to address going forward because I don't know what Ten Hag's going to do with it. How he's going to, if he's just going to use him off the bench or.
Chivy mentioned, I think he mentioned it a couple of months ago actually, about Bruno needing a challenger to that number 10 position. And I think Ten Hag's thought, well, maybe Sancho can be that sort of challenger. But again, it's just not working. Like, his touch seemed off today. Like, normally, when you watched him for Dortmund, his dribbles and his like touch between his feet and stuff seemed on it. It doesn't seem like it's there for us. It just doesn't seem like he's able to pull it off like what he normally does. And yeah, I don't know. I think hopefully we see the best of Sancho next season. Maybe that's when we get to see it, and he gets like a whole summer to work with Ten Hag after this, whatever.
That's 2 seasons now, though, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, he's now on that point. Like we said that at the end of last season, Shaw and Rashford are on their last chance, but this season they're stepping up to the plate and they're making it, and they're playing. I think Sancho's got next season. If you don't show up next season, you've got to start going right. We need to question this kid now. We need to question him.
Mm.
I gave him a C-
Thoughts on that?
anyway.
Yeah, C- for me as well. Before Casemiro came off, and in the first maybe 20 minutes, he looked really bright. There were a few runs he made on the right-hand side. Bit of player. There was a 1-2 that he was doing with Anthony. I was really excited about that. But then it just kind of waned off once Casemiro came off. And the only thing I really remember was the pass that he put Rashford in, where Rashford takes just that one touch and it's a bit too far ahead. It was a really good pass and I was happy with that. But we're just going to need more than that over 90 minutes. We need more than that one true pass.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, C-, maybe a D. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because like these are the times when we need our talented players to step up, and we really need. And I'm one of his biggest fans, but yeah, he kind of let me down a little bit today. Even giving the ball away as well. He gave the ball away a few times. So yeah, I'll give him a D.
Anthony, again,
D.
I'm frustrated.
D. He was terrible. He was terrible today.
He's not beating his man at all, and that's the one thing you want from a winger. When you get past him, keep going, bang a crossing on your right hand side. Like he's very readable at the minute for a lot of defenders. I know he tucks in on Thursday night and puts an absolute banger in, but that's 1 in 15 or 1 in 20 that he scores when he attempts that. It doesn't do nowhere near enough for me, the output on the right hand side. I've been trying to back him and trying to say it's going to take time. It's a transitional season. First season in the Premier League. He's only 21 years old. But you have to react to what you've seen. And what I saw today just weren't good enough.
No, he was terrible. Like, again, we saw little glimpses of Betis where he was running at defenders and taking them on and then getting crosses in. Some of them weren't great. Like, some of them were like a bit poor. But he was trying it. This game, he just went right back to what he was doing previously. Getting the ball, putting his foot on it, and then trying to cut inside, realising he can't get past or get a shot off, and then passing it sideways. Pretty much all he did all game, and it was frustrating to watch. And yeah, with Anthony, I'm like, right, he gets this season to bed in, to learn, to get used to it, and then next season he has to kick on. He has to kick on next season and start showing something. Because if he does the same performance this season as he does next season, fans are going to start turning. Fans will start going like, why is this guy playing? Like, what is he doing? Yes, he's got a great left foot when he cuts in, but if that's all you've got, I don't think that justifies you staying in the team. D for me. I thought he was really poor.
I'm gonna go C-, but you'll have the final say on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C- as well. I think he did better than Jadon Sancho, and he created a few chances. There was one where he pretends like he's gonna take it on his left foot, and then he lays it off for Bruno. But Bruno kind of blasted it over. It was a good shot from Bruno as well. And then the Luke Shaw chance, the one where he chests it, brings it down. That was a really good pass from Anthony. So he's doing things like that. Like he's able to see players running. But then what we want from him, obviously we want him to be his man, put pressure on the defender, which he hasn't really done today. I'll give him a C-. I think he was between him and Sancho. I think he was the better one. So I'll give him a C-.
Okay. Only a couple more players to do, just Vegas and Rashford. Vegas, same category. I feel like saying it's a lot of players, but same category. Just frustrating, not giving you what you want from a striker, not got that lethal instinct, that killer instinct you want up top. Works really hard for the team, that's fantastic, but it's Manchester United. I don't just want someone to work hard for the team. If you're a number 9, I want you bagging goals consistently every single game. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't. And it's not as if he was playing as a 10 today. He was number 9. And was frustrating. That run you mentioned before where Rashford gets in, if that's a Haaland or if that's something like that, they are getting right in front of their man to get that tap in and smelling the blood and smelling the danger. So it didn't impress me today. I'd give Weghorst C-.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. His positioning, we spoke about it, is poor. There was a couple of balls in the air as well, and he's shit. He's awful in the air, man. Like, for a 6-foot-odd guy, he's awful in the air.
Terrible.
Like, honestly, I could do better in the air, and I wasn't even great at it. I hated doing it, but I think I could be better. Like, he's so poor, and it's just like, if you have a high-level quality striker, the amount of chances that are created for him or like happen around him, we're scoring goals. Like Osimhen, Kane, anybody like that, they're goals. like half of them are goals at least, and it's just it's frustrating. And I get the work he puts in for the team. I love the guy. I think he's a great personality, etc. But yeah, we need to score goals, man. Especially when we're not taking chances. We need to start scoring goals.
Yeah, because a Harry Kane or someone of that ilk in that game, you probably win it 1-0 from something they've, you know what I mean?
He gets a D for me. I'm giving him a D for that one.
I'm happy.
Yeah, there was the first header that he misses. I remember we were talking about this yesterday about Cavani, and in my head I was like, Cavani scores that one.
Yep.
Definitely he does. I really like the guy, and I really like the energy he brings and the fight he brings. But we need more than that, and he's not making a good case for himself at all. Like, even with the fans, I think at the end of the season we'll all be like, well, you came and you did your thing, but I think we need better. So it's a D from me, because this is the kind of game that your striker wins you that 1 point, and his positioning was just awful.
Yeah, I'll agree with that absolutely. And then Marcus Rashford was almost part of that band as well. Like, I think he was great. He had a couple of his runs were interesting, and I thought, you can go one score here or assist or whatever. But I always thought Marcus Rashford anyway, when he doesn't score, you can highlight his performance a lot more, because he's very quiet in games. But when he does score, you're like, well, he's done his job. Like, that's what you want from him. He's been consistent. I don't think he was amazing today.
No.
Honestly, I don't. Do I expect more? I think it's hard to say, because he's been fucking unbelievable this season. So yeah, I'm not going to be too harsh with him, but I don't know, C- probably for Rashford. I'd give him.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's harsh, is it?
No, I'd agree. There was 2 opportunities he had. One where we've mentioned with the Vegas positioning, it's a tight angle and he hits it against the keeper, and it goes like it hits the keeper. Chivy, all right? Camera connecting. And then we had the one where he's got bad touch and he quite scuff it. I think if Rashford's in full flight and he's playing confidently and well, I think he scores that. I just think things have been a little off the last couple of weeks, so he just doesn't quite come back. So I think C- is fine. I don't think it's too harsh.
Okay, I don't know if Chivy is still with us or not. If we can hear his voice, so should we wrap up there? I think we got through all the ratings, haven't we? Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, that's the end of the review match for Manchester United versus Southampton. 0-0 with points, or you could say a point gain, however you view it. Casemiro sent off. We won't have him for 4 games now, which is a massive blow. Another one added to either the sideline or someone who's not available to play. The game's coming thick and fast, so you know what the score is. The schedule will be out in the morning for the content. 2 games a week continuously. Make sure you follow us on social media, turn on the notification bell on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and smash a like on the video as well. Unless I'm missing anything, Sam, let's
follow all the socials. There are links in the description or they're underneath the graphic. I need to change the graphic for the TikTok one, because we've got a new TikTok, but the link is in the description for it, so please do go follow that. Would help us out. Try to get us back up to 1,000 again. That'd be nice. So,
yeah, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? Right, we'll see you later. I'm sure Chivy, wherever he is on the planet right now. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely rest of your weekend, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.